G'day team, we have ventured today up onto the flats on a high tide. Now I know the depth is pretty good below us at the moment, but I've got to remember, when I come back from my fishing session, it could be quite the opposite, meaning low water. So I've got to make sure that I've got plenty of draft of water underneath the boat. Now, we are going to be working these flats and they look absolutely amazing. You've got lots of stingrays up there, and this is found all around the country, in fact all around the globe, where you're going to find these particular areas, you're generally going to find fish foraging on that higher tide. So in this case we have our rays, these larger stingrays, and smaller fish come up behind them to eat what they're missing, in this case yabbies or nippers. So we're going to get out here, we're going to have a bait session to catch ourselves some nippers, and then we're going to put them on and use unweighted yabbies across these flats. Now we also need to work out the channels, the drop-offs, and of course the telltale signs of where these fish will be. And those tips I'll give you throughout the segment. So let's disembark and go and catch some bait. So what we're looking for here are these telltale signs of holes. This is where the yabbies live. You can see lots of holes all across these banks, and those crater-like effects are from the stingrays, the rays that come up here on the high tide during the day and at night time and try and suck up. They move their flaps of their body and they suck up what's underneath them, and of course that's also what the other fish are feeding on, as I mentioned earlier. So all we're going to do here, we've got our sieve. This helps when the water's still over these banks. Otherwise your yabbies take off and you spend half the time chasing them. So in this case, I'm just going to chuck it on the ground like that. I use my yabby pump, pump straight into the sieve. And then what we do, we just give it a shuffle, like you're sieving for gold. And there's our yabbies. These baits are absolutely pristine for the fish that are going to be working these banks. So put that on your hook, no weight, and I reckon you'll do really well. So the gear we're running is really light, okay? So 3-pound fluorocarbon leader. Not just the leader, but in fact right down onto the spool of the reel. That's right, we need it to be totally invisible because we are fishing the shallow flats with these fish coming up. They see it, they're spooked, they're gone. So I'm using the Stratic. This is the 1000 size and also just a 1 to 3 kilo spin rod. So whether you're running a squidgy rod or maybe even a lighter Shimano, that's totally fine. The hooks, these are bait holders. Okay, you can get them in a larger pack there at Anaconda as well, but what you're going to find, they've also a smaller size, so a size 6 is going to be adequate for those particular yabbies. I'll show you how I rig it up. 3-pounders like hair, really delicate, so give yourself a nice bit of length there when we do our uni knot. I do like the uni knot because it gives it a little bit more freedom for the yabby to move around the actual hook, as the hook will have a bit of a gap there by the time I finish tying this. Similar to just like a loop knot we're using, but in a uni knot form. Pull that tight, not too tight here, just wet it, pull that down to where the loop wants to be, so about maybe 5 mil from the end of the eye of the hook. Grab the tag, give it a pull, we'll trim that up. And there you have it, nice little loop there. That hook can just move around. That's all we use. There's nothing more. Put the yabby on that, which I'll show you when we go fishing. You don't want one with a giant claw like that, so just with your finger, just give it a bit of a snap and off it goes. All we do here, we put the hook into the tail, go down about 3 ribs of that particular yabby, and just pull it out, just like that. That's perfect. So he's still alive. He'll crawl around like that. He'll crawl down a yabby hole. But that's what the whiting want. It's really natural. There's no swivel, there's no split shot sinker, there's nothing. Just that particular yabby sitting super straight on that. And you'll find that when you are drifting with a normal, say in a boat, and you've got your running ball sinker rig, is that the yabby's going to be hooked around a bit more, and that's fine. But in this case here, we just want them walking across the bank again. The rays have sucked them up, okay? They've missed this one, the whiting or flathead or bream, anything's gonna come in and smash it. In this case, we're after the nice whiting. So what we're doing here is when we pull the boat up and we've hopped off, we've just disturbed all the sand. So with your polarized sunglasses, I've got my tonics on. I'm looking through the water, and whiting generally give a bit of a shimmer on their side, and they'll roll on their side, and you'll see this flash of silver. If there's a big school of whiting, it looks like a giant mirror. But you just got to keep looking for those telltale signs. You find those, you're going to find the fish, you know. I've also got my bar arm open, as you can see here. So all I'm doing here, I've got it on my index finger, that light 3-pound fluorocarbon. And when the fish hits it, I'll feel him, I'll just drop my finger. He can take as much line as he wants, and then I'll just lock it up. We want to get that hook down as far as we can, otherwise we'll miss them. And some of the fish can be quite large too. We're talking elbow slappers, you know, really big fish. So we just slowly move around and keep looking for the shadows. Again, polarized sunnies. You've got to locate the fish. Yeah, just getting a bite now. I've dropped my finger, bail open, we're on. Again, we're only running 3-pound leader or 3-pound fluorocarbon all the way through, so you don't want to go a heavy drag. The fish is not going to snag you. Whiting might go around rocks or anything like that, so just keep it nice and gentle, nice and slow. The fish will come to you eventually. You can see him down there. That one looks like a bream. That one's a bream. Here, buddy. There we go. Nothing too big, but again, it's a fish. We'll get our hook out of you, mate. Thank you. Here we go. A little whiting. What we're after, just a little bit bigger would be great. Such a cool way to fish. You're getting exercise. You're catching whiting. It's not a bad little one. You know, it's okay, it's a fish. Sight cast to your fish if you like. Here's a big one. Oh, his mate's coming over. We don't want his mate, we want the big one. Normally the way is the little ones will come in and absolutely smack it. The big ones will just cruise by. Okay, here we go. Ha! So we've caught everything at the moment. The 3 bread and butter fish around Australia, bream whiting and flathead. Little lizard, nothing too big, but he got me a cracker too. Thanks, mate. See you later. It's a great way for the kids to get out there and have a fish too, you know. Thank you, mate. See you later. So with the tonics, I can cut through the glare. I can see the fish I want. There's a few smaller ones here, and there's a bigger one just sort of meandering around the back end here. So I'm just going to try and pull him in. I'm just going to see where I can see any other bigger ones before I move further forward. A lot of whiting on this bank. We're just going to slow down and just see where they went. There's a couple out there. Okay, so bait's in the water. Good idea is a sight cast to the fish as well. There's my big mate there. There he is, I can see him. There he goes. Nice. This one's not too bad either. Definite legal fish. Have a look in the water there, Frankie. Come to me, mate. This is a better whiting. Look at that. Definite legal fish. It's one of the larger fish. Now, generally, we've actually caught them out here around 38, 40 centimetres. A big fish up here is 45. In Clint from Gold Coast River Charters actually got a big 45 the other day. But that's a nice size whiting as well. He has taken that hook down. We'll get the hook out and get him out. Here we go. He's a good one. He's a good one. How cool. Sight cast. I don't want that one. I want that one. Super light drag. He's not going anywhere. Have a look at that out there. You can see him. He's a good fish. Man, this is sick. And this is why I carry a little net with me as well, for the just in case. The just in case. Yes, sir. Look at that for a donkey. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That is a cracker of a whiting. Look at that, everyone. Absolute monster. I'm happy with that fish. Sight casting, just looking along the banks going, I don't want that one. Nah, oh, that one there's a good chance. And that was the chance. He came up and smashed it. I'll get that hook out of him. Now I'll measure him up as well, give you an idea of the size. Oops. Give that a clean out later. Okay, the size of him. Let's have a look at this. Put your head there, mate, for me. Thank you. 33. He's not bad. He's coming home.
Now here's some tips to fishing the shallow flats. You'll need a 1 to 2 kilo spin combo, nice and light. From there, you want to run straight fluorocarbon leader, no braid required whatsoever. No weight is required either, just the yabby, you're wanting to crawl around. Use tonic sunglasses to see the fish in the water to cut the glare. And remember, when you cast out, free spool before striking. Good luck.
And of course, thanks for watching Step Outside YouTube channel for lots of cooking and fishing action. Like, subscribe, and of course comment for more catches like this and cooking recipes.